Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Today is, you know, I do this every time. Today is Thursday, the 28th of September, 2017. Is anyone around? It looks like only me tonight. Am I going to be talking to myself? Andy Suku is first. Good job, Andy. Well done. Although there are people also on the YouTube channel, and they're here as well, and they're coming on board now as we speak. So to both of you, to both crews, the people on the Facebook, the people on the YouTube, I can't wait for the time when we have live streaming done tight, and we are just streaming to one stream that going to YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and everything else that takes a live feed. Speaking of which, today we had a very important media meeting with regards to the television show that we're talking to you all about. That's not done, dead deal yet. We're working it out and we're working out the details, but it's going to happen. Tonight's show is called On the Budget. On the Budget. Every year, the Parliament gathers for the government to stand up and read all the things that the last government did wrong, all the things that their government is doing right, all of the bright prospects to come in the future, and then a bullshit document predicated on nothing, designed to fool you with contributions from the Manufacturers Association, the Chamber of Commerce, and every other bandit clan that you could think of that says, we want a little piece of the pie this year for so-and-so, so make sure we get a so-and-so. But the budget is a nothing document, and we've been receiving a nothing document for as long as we've been an independent nation, and we've been okay with that. The day following the budget, the copy and paste media are going to publish all of the sweeties from the budget and all of the things that are designed to distract you in the budget. Diesel gone up, US gone up, but they're giving you the lower the price of rum and some foolishness. And it's like, if that is the purpose of the budget, that is not the purpose of the budget. The purpose of the budget is to identify two things. These are the two things, and I want you to understand, this is a conversation we're going to have tonight. The purpose of the budget is to identify two things. How much money we have, what we're doing with it. That's not what they do, but that's what they're supposed to do. And that's what we're going to tell them that they have to do, because the people are awoke. And we are no longer going to be doing deficit spending and deficit budgets, so wasting money that our grandchildren will have to pay for. But right now, share the video, call out your friends, YouTube people, email, text, WhatsApp, send the link, Facebook people, and all the drill. Call them out. Let them know we're here. Tonight we're live and we're inside. Yeah? What better song? Like they're going mad. Because all of them inside are there like they... That kind of head couldn't come from weed. You're getting that life on there. Share it, share it, share it, share it. As a nation, we have to be mad. And then they will have panel shows for all the also-rans, all the Carolyn C. Prasad Bechans and the Mariano Browns and the Vasant Barats to come and expunge and speak so eloquently on all the things that they know that should have been done, that was never done when all of them was in office. They will bring Pandey daughter and David Abdullah to talk a crocus bag of bullshit. The same crocus bag of bullshit that they bring out every year. They trot it out every year. And the nip and the tuck and the hem and and they twist and they pretend that what's happening there is a real and rational leadership conversation, but it's not. It's all theater. It's all circus. It's all bullshit. The reason we use the word bullshit a lot is because you could tell bullshit from a mile away. It's big, it's a pile, it's steaming, and you could smell it. That's what goes on in the parliament, and that is what is going to go on in the parliament on Monday. And I'll tell you why. Because I was on a radio show today, and I was trying to explain to the host that any budget must be predicated from a starting position. How much money do I have? We don't do that. We have a budget based on how much money are we going to spend, and then try to find a way. Well, we have so much coming in as income, royalties. We have so much coming in as taxes. We have this still sitting down there in the Heritage and the Stabilization Fund. We could deficit some finance here. And you know we'll find the rest? We could tax them, mother ass and them again, because they ain't riot yet. So we could tax them some more. Trinidadians do not understand that what the budget is not the Lord High Minister of Finance coming to tell you how to live your life. What the budget is supposed to be is your servant, the Minister of Finance, accounting to you what was done with your money last year and what he proposes to do with your money this year. And all of the members of Parliament, the representatives that all 1.3 million of us divided into 41 constituencies sent to the Parliament to stand him up and question him on it. The budget is not supposed to be a 1 hour reading. The budget should take days. I want my budget to take days. I want you to give me line item after line item. I want you to tell me when you're spending $5.2 billion on public works this year, I want you to tell me the breakdown. I want to know how much Diego Martin West getting. And I want to know what Diego Martin West doing with it. So that you don't surprise me. Halfway through the year, I don't see my clown, my jackass of a prime minister awarding a contract to build a highway that nobody wants, nobody needs, we cannot afford. It is a ridiculous exercise in bullshit and waste. And there is nothing that you and I could do short of lighting the road on fire and rioting. How is this a real country? I call this the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like land. Mariano Brown and Michaela Pandey and Vassam Bharat not going to tell you that. Basdeo Pandey was Prime Minister twice. Twice. And for those of you who don't know, before you challenge me, Google it and you will see. And he was part of the National Alliance for Reconstruction that had a 33-3 majority that could have done anything they wanted and did nothing. They did nothing of value. Nothing. We've had PNM governments for the majority of time that we've been independent. And all they've used the budgets for is a tool and a fulcrum to rape you. You've been raped by budget. The budget to politicians, to government ministers, is the mechanism and the means by which we steal your money. The $400 million that is going to be spent. You see, I'm not being deliberately opposing everything that Rowley do. I am not. If you had taken that $400 million and tell me I'm going to widen the road to Chaguaramas, because you can't get away from that now. Chaguaramas needs a wider road. You can't get away. People have spent millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and you all have decided that this project's going to go forward. And until you widen that road, you are suffering the tens of thousands of people that live in Caranage and the people who live and work and try to use those systems in Chaguaramas. The $400 million would have been better spent widening the road and easing the traffic in Caranage. But this jackass and his bandit clan are going to build a highway to Manzanilla. Not even the people who go in there for coconut need a highway. Nobody needs it. It serves no purpose. It is the windward side of our island. Sea blast will destroy any development you put, so people don't develop there. It is not the best beaches. We don't use it. Trinidadians go Mayaro on long weekend and we wait on the news to say one of them drowned. Because people ain't get it in their head yet. You don't swim in rough water and waves. But forget that for a minute, because the lack of leadership tells people, like yourself, and let's talk what a budget is supposed to be. There are important things in the operation of a country. The first thing is the recurrent expenditure. The recurrent expenditure. You can't evade it. Every household, every business, every country, even a non-profit organization has recurring costs. You can't evade it. It might be as simple as your rent, your lights, your phone bill, your cable bill, your internet. It might be that, and some petty cash. Extrapolate that multiple times for the national budget. What might be our recurrent expenditure? Things that we underwrite as national expenses. And this is why you need a Progressive Empowerment Party government. Because we have a red pen. And we want to take that red pen to the budget. We want to say special purpose companies, gone. UDCOT, gone. SportTT, gone. EMBD, gone. EFCL, gone. That gone. We're going to turn now to Caribbean Airlines, privatize. You don't want to hear that? Caribbean Airlines drains over $1 billion from this country every year. Your family can't eat well. You can't live safe. You can't get sick and go in a hospital because the money spent there is crap. But the $1 billion that we waste on Caribbean Airlines, we don't even subsidize your flight. I do not understand. It would be cheaper for us to just hire and plane and pay them for the people at Trinidad and Tobago. The Port Authority of Trinidad and Tobago loses $1 billion a year plus every year. And much of that is the trip to Tobago. And they don't subsidize it. Where's the money going? The Progressive Empowerment Party will come back to you and tell you. And you will get, let me tell you something, you're a citizen of the country. Get accustomed to doing your part in the game, you know. Get accustomed to doing your share of the work. You can't wait for everybody else to do the heavy lifting. You can't vote people into office and say, I'm going to fix it. They're not. What they're going to do is fix themselves. That's what's been going on because you've been too lazy. And I said this morning, the problem in this country is the laziness of the voters and the unwillingness to involve themselves in the process. You have a role and a responsibility. Political will is set by public pressure. That's the equation right there. Governments do what the people want if the people have a clue what they want. But you don't. You want to wine and drink and jam. That have to done. You have to also play a part in the democratic process if the country that you want is a country that works. We have rivers flooding, every canals, drains. They're not really rivers. That need repair. They need fixing. You need to have a line item in the budget. Because I told them in 2015 in my manifesto when I ran as an independent, we will do an express water management system on the opposite side of the highway and trap the water in retention ponds all along the way. Subterranean retention ponds. We're going to trap and hold the water there and pump it back to Wassa when the rain done. So that the water don't have to overflow the banks because you're dealing with it and you're managing it. 1 hour of rain not supposed to flood Diego Martin. God forbid we get 2 hours. We're in trouble. Stick a pin in all of that. We can't get distracted. What we have to know is this. After you deal with recurring expenditure, and I'm telling you about our red pen, we will go through state boards. Non-essential, gone. Non-essential, gone. The Tobago House of Assembly, 4.5 billion, gone. Gone. Take that money and I will sponsor Tobagonians. Free ride between Trinidad and Tobago till we actually build a bridge. We will make sure a brick, a block and a banana is the same price in Trinidad as it is in Tobago. To move goods between the 2 islands will be free. Plus, we will deepen your harbor and we will make sure that you can import direct to Tobago. Because for the love of all that is holy, I do not understand why Tobago goods has to pass through Trinidad and then ship to Tobago. That is jackassery in high gear. That's not low gear jackassery. That's the real thing. We're doing the real. I'm surprised they don't ship to Trinidad, then Barbados, then Tobago. Some kind of madness goes on in this country. We elect and appoint stupid numbskulls to office and we have to stop that. The THA, gone. Tobago is one of 2 things. And I'm saying this to Tobagonians. Love me, hate me. Tobago is one of 2 things. It is either 2 constituencies of the unitary twin island state of Trinidad and Tobago, or Tobago is independent. And you all decide. You see this half and half bullshit? That have to done. Tobago needs to decide. Come in full. coming full to the nation, Trinidad and Tobago, and let's make sure that Tobagonians are treated with respect. Once we build one in Trinidad, we will build its equivalent in Tobago, or we will make it easy for you to come. Tobagonians don't need to leave Tobago to come to Trinidad to get their passport and their birth certificate. That is madness. Total, absolute, flipping madness. We need to fix that. We need to give Tobago tourism headquarters. We need to give Tobago agriculture headquarters. We need to give them finance facilities that allow so the people of Tobago to develop alongside the people of Trinidad. How is this rocket science? How? How do we not know this? How are we not clamoring for this? Why is Tobago not rioting for this? This is what you march for. This. THA, gone. Regional health authorities, gone, gone, gone. Regional health authorities are a wasted, failed model. All they do is steal money. We are going to decentralize healthcare. We are going to build 41 accident and emergency healthcare centers, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, complete with minor surgery suite, equipped with their own ambulance. We are going to leave the 3 existing major hospitals. Now we have a 4th one. These 2 jackasses fighting between building one in Arima and building one in Point 14. That's what you don't need. You did not need the Coover bullshit Kamla bill. And you see to the PNM people, who every time we catch all you and your party in theft, you want to tell me what Kamla do? Jail Kamla. But don't give me bullshit that justifies PNM theft because of UNC theft. Because I want to tell you something, you know. We want to come into office and find all those who took advantage of the people and bring them to swift and certain justice. And we want our money back. We want our money back. You're not going to languish in jail and your family enjoying the Lamborghini and the Bentley, you know. We're taking it and we auctioning it and we putting the people money back. Those days of eat wild and mad, that are done. The people's money is stolen every freaking day, every hour of every day. And that is why this country is so bad. When you have 2 jackasses, Kamla and Keith, square off against each other in the parliament, saying, you shut up, no, you shut up. How is that leadership? Neither one of them know the way to the high road. Neither one of them knows to say, listen, this is parliament. This is the highest office in the land. If you don't belong here, leave. But please, while you're here, have some decorum and some respect. Back on point. RH is gone. Local government, not even the people involved in local government know what the hell local government is for. Gone. We're replacing local government with a constituency board of supervisors. So now, we've just cancelled the need for a 31 minister cabinet, and we've just cancelled local government. In their places, we've given you 41 constituency boards of supervisors. The way the police service is set up now, gone. That $2.25 billion, gone. We're going to undo and redo. Now let's take it from the top. If this was a progressive empowerment party government, what would the constituency board of supervisors look like prior to the budget? A supervisor of public works, a supervisor of public utilities, a supervisor of education, a supervisor of healthcare, and a supervisor of security. Those 5 people meet and plan based on your input, because they would invite stakeholder meetings, they would invite contributions from the public, like Stuart Dalglish and the tireless work that that man is doing to secure the western savannah opposite Westmall. And it may come to pass, and if it does, they should name it the Stuart Dalglish Savannah, because that man never stopped fighting for it. Government come and government go. Rowley wanted to build houses there. Manning wanted to build schools there. Kamla wanted to sell it to 2 UNC financiers. It's Dalglish and them fight for it. The 41 constituency board of supervisors will represent you at the constituency level. No longer will Rohan Sinanan or any jackass that looks or smell like him do what the constituency is supposed to do. You don't sit in central government and decide what happened in Mayaro and what happened in Diego Martin. That is bullshit. It is madness to the nth degree. Before the budget, you are supposed to have all 41 public work supervisors prepare the requisition document. I, as the supervisor of public works for Diego Martin West, request $284 million for the next fiscal year, broken down as such. Under my purview, we have 1,740 running miles of major road and 2,350 running miles of minor roads that need maintenance to $30 million. These are the roads by name, by street, by date, and cost, estimated cost to repair. We will have all the other supervisors. The supervisor of education has to request of the supervisor of public works the schools in that supervisor's district, all the schools that need repairs. I have 4 schools that need repair, and I have 2 that need roofs. And I request that of the supervisor of public works. It goes into his budget. This is the public works document, and it goes into his budget. The supervisor of public utilities. Because we saw the damage and destruction that those hurricanes did to the rest of the Caribbean, including Puerto Rico, that's not going to have power for about 6 months. We are going to begin, and you know what, Keith Rowley? Steal this idea. Steal it now. Stop the highway to Manzanilla and steal this one and announce it as if it's yours. Steal it. All overhead lines, we will move underground. 41 constituencies at the same time. All of them. We are going to work together to goals and targets. And that's going to be a national cost set aside that each of the supervisors of public utilities will identify on the map how they move their main transmission lines and all the subsidiary lines, and then create the channels and invite cable and telecommunications, all the other people who use the overhead lines. We are now running the national grid secure, waterproof, underground. So no more hurricanes could pass through and mash up your country. Because even if we lose all the roof, we go fix back roof the next day. But we don't have to come and rerun the whole national grid again. And I hope and I pray that the crying jackass Skerrit, when he get whatever money he get from the world, that don't include the oil rights money that he sell and put in Switzerland, I hope when that jackass and his cabinet gets the money to rebuild Dominica, that they start by putting all of the essential utilities underground, tucked away, safe, so that next year the country doesn't find itself in the same situation. But a Progressive Empowerment Party government would go one step further. We are having a conversation with people with a view towards looking at either completely separate nodes of power distribution, north, east, central, south, deep south, Tobago twice. Those nodes generate and distribute electricity separate. There will no longer be a national grid. There will be nodes. There will be a northern grid. The northern grid could go down and the entire country is still okay. And you need to be able to look at it from that point of view, and I'll tell you why. Because the cost of generating and maintaining electricity is different to the people of Tabaquite and Mayaro, because those are massive constituencies. Diego Martin Central is a sliver. To generate the wires between the two is two completely different things. The man hours, the manpower is different. The generation capacity is different. And we need to know that. We need to budget that in. You have to budget by size and by cost to operate, the recurring expenditure for each constituency by size. But each of the constituency supervisors of public works, now armed with documents where they've gotten requests from their security supervisor, because we have certain things that we build in, police posts, whatever we build in, that we need for them, roads, so we know the roads are repairing and the roads that build in, the hospital, whatever, the healthcare sector, whatever they need, they've given us their request, and public utilities, they've given us their request. So we have totaled it up and we say, Diego Martin West requires $284 million, and this is what the breakdown is. And we tell you the breakdown next year, because that breakdown, an approved budget, doesn't mean, here Diego Martin West, look a check for $284 million. It doesn't mean that. In our budget breakdown, we said $13 million for roads. So we have a $13 million budget for roads over the next 12 months. And inside of that, we could put out a tender and give contracts within the constituency, because under the PEP, that would be law. Junior Sammy can't go all over the country building road. Pick a constituency and operate there. Bloom where you're planted. So that we would have many people drilling the cost and the budgets and the money, sharing the pie throughout the country. But come back to this. You have a budget for roads. You have $13 million. You know, and the Minister of Finance knows, who should operate as a Chancellor of the Exchequer, who issues checks. And the checks that you get come from your constituency, and they must reflect what you said in the budget, because you approved in the budget. And if at the end of the fiscal year, Diego Martin West needs to go over $284 million, they have to make a request for difference and for variation, and they have to say why, and they have to justify, based on the budgetary request they made before, where that money gone. And this is the fastest way to control how we spend the national money and prevent corruption. This is how you prevent corruption, because you have people who are now liable. And when the Minister of Finance, so he says $1.2 billion is public works. When you get the budget document, because after he reads it, it should be put out to the public for scrutiny. Do it on our website. I don't care if you print it. But whatever you do, the public works section must have appended to it all 41 constituency requests. All. So that the country could look through and see what's happening. Where our money going? And when you add up that, 1.2 billion for public works, and we say, this first year, we're going to underwrite the cost of setting up these 41 accident and emergency healthcare centers. That comes at a cost. Some constituencies already have facilities that we can build out and expand. Of course, Port of Spain North and Port of Spain South could use the Port of Spain General Hospital. Of course, Mount Hope, Mount Lambert could use the Eric Williams Science Complex. The people in San Fernando, East and West, could use San Fernando General Hospital, because you've just taken a lot of the burden of the hospitals, because everybody not trying to rush to one of the hospitals, accident emergency, they have their own. And we're going to underwrite the cost for those who don't have and build it from scratch. And then we will know to operate 24/7 accident and emergency department, because in the Eric Williams and Port of Spain and San Fernando hospitals, you will have a department set aside and separate that is this same 24/7 accident and emergency healthcare facility that is there for the people of the constituency. That door close. And once you come through that door, you will be attended to. And if they can't manage you, you'll be shipped in one of the dedicated ambulances to a major hospital. But they're supposed to be able to deal with gunshot and accident and stroke and heart attack. Stabilize the basic things that a hospital stay require. So they could deal with car accident and that kind of foolishness. And stabilize, and if they can't bring you back to health, they could transfer you if you need further intervention and that kind of stuff. We have to underwrite the cost to set that up. Then there's the education system. We say abolish the SEA. We say abolish the prestige school system. We say abolish the two-tiered school system. We propose a 10-year school system where you go from grade 5 to grade 6, normal, and that the schools must be purpose-built to be a 10-year school. So a lot of the schools that are now schools, including schools like St. Mary's College and Holy Name Convent and St. Joseph Convent, will no longer be able to work in the model of a constituency 10-year school. And we have to face that and move forward. Because we need to purpose build 200 schools that could take care of all the nation's children. And people not have to worry that some get into St. Mary's and some go in Mokorapo. Them thing done. In your constituency, there will be a school. Not a college or a convent and a junior and a senior and all that nonsense. School. Purpose built with all of the necessities that you need to operate a first world school that imparts education. All the things that all of the teachers need to do that. The GPA system will be monitored nationally online. You could track it. You could track your child GPA daily. You could track your child teacher's performance and attendance daily. You imagine that? You imagine you go to your child's classroom online and see teacher marked absent, 4th absence for the year. Imagine how involved you're going to get. Imagine how involved you're going to get. You see, information is king. And this is what they do. They rob you of information. Colm is going to tell you $4.5 billion of public works. They will sprinkle some. We drilling a hole through here. We putting up a bridge there. Bullshit you. We spoke to the IDB. We get a $500 million loan to look into the possibility that Colm might be an asshole. And those monies, you just find out and you have to pay for it. And they tell you, we've made these decisions. Now you find the money. Because out of the 60 billion we're going to spend, the nation earning 30 billion. The rest, we're going to deficit finance. And if we can't make it up, we're coming to you. And you supposed to be able to say, no, sir. That's not how budgeting works. Cut your cloth to suit. So show me where we hemorrhaging money. CPEP and URP, gone. Redetermined as education, as agriculture and food production support staff. You want to get state funds? You work on a farm. Don't paint nothing for me. We have public work supervisors in the constituencies responsible for the maintenance. We don't need CPEP contracts. We don't need URP. Stop making work and fooling people. If somebody's fall through the system, social development is supposed to be able to identify why this person is falling through the system and redirect them, redevelop them, get them to fully functional, contributing citizens. That's where we need to be. You cannot have circumstances and situations that just hemorrhage money. And that's what you're going to read on Monday. And the media is going to do you an injustice. We were supposed to have somebody attending tomorrow on a talk show. And we're not going. We're not going to be a part of the circus. TV6 will interview any other member of the Progressive Empowerment Party but me. Because TV6 knows what I know. And TV6 and their handlers are afraid of Philip Alexander getting this message out there. They're doing everything in their power to prevent this message getting out there. And that is why you have a role and a responsibility. Fire truck me, don't like me, don't love me, don't try to be friends with me. Just take the information, share the information, share that with each other. Tell them, save the bullshit, save the ad hominem and the attacks and all of that. The man ain't running for nothing. Listen to this. See if this will fix the country. See if this will make your life better. Because I do not understand how people could look at children and parents and say, I love these people, and then turn around and vote for political organizations that cut in their throats. I don't understand. How is that love? What kind of love is that? What kind of love is that? But we move from circus to circus. We as a people, and we accept circus. So we get circus. And they're not going to change until you change it. They're not going to change until Colm reads our budget, and we are going to review that budget. And we are going to come to you with a line item breakdown and all the avenues of mismanagement, malfeasance, and estimated theft, we will show you. And you see that budget, between the government's reading and the opposition response, 20,000 people show up outside the parliament and say, no, sir. Do over. What do you think you're going to do? You think Rowley going to sick the army on the population? The army will watch Rowley and say, who? We as people too? Is we a jamming? You think the police coming to lock up Trinidadians for their essential constitutional rights? This is 2017. This place has been allowed to run like this for too long. It's been a criminal empire for too long. It's been a corrupt contractocracy for too long. It can change. You're awake. It could change. You say now, no more. You say no, enough, and it will change. Or, however, we could do something else. We could just not give a fire truck. $6.25 billion on healthcare this year, and nobody know what it's spending on. Nobody know. Monday, come climb up on a box to stand up and look tall. Short man coming to rape you. You ever get wine on by a short man? He coming Monday. He and the bullet jackass for a leader. Coming to rest it on you. Listen to all the talking heads. The Abdullahs and the Pandays and the Bronx and the Barats. Listen to this self-promoting, agenda-driven bullshit. They're going to tell you. They're not telling you the truth. Business. If we used the business, they couldn't spend $60 billion and our fire stations look like that. Have you ever been to a fire station? Have you looked at what these people have to wear, what they have to work with? Who's setting the budgets? What is their share of the national budget broken down by constituency, broken down by fire station? Diego Martin West has a fire station. How much money do they get to operate for the year? Are they getting $1.8 million inclusive of salaries? What is the breakdown? How do we know? What is, and I ask this all the time, this is a world where they have best practices. Best practices says that fire engines, fire stations should be within a 3-mile radius of all development. So every time you leave 3 miles, you have to put another one. SimCity, play SimCity, it'll teach you how to run a country. Every 3-mile radius, you put another fire station so that everybody is within amber, orange, safe. Funny how that works. Ambulances have a number as well. There is a cost to everything. There is a factual budget that you could research and quote and put into practice, best practice in Trinidad and Tobago. We could know that the operational budget and cost, best practice for a fire station is X. That they need X, Y, and Z to operate and be, if it's in a urban, suburban, agriculture environment, how to outfit, equip, and budget. We would know that information exists. I told somebody today, there are people in this world that could tell you to run a ferry, how much it costs per kilometer. So that you know that between Trinidad and Tobago, it should cost X, multiplied by 365. That's it. Everything I'm telling you here is just counterintuitive common sense. They're not going to give you that. They're going to give you bullshit. They're going to disguise it and distract you with nonsense. They're going to give you all sorts of rationales and reasons. They're going to paint pie in the sky foolishness, have crosstalk and fight each other, but it doesn't make a difference because the same Calco that make money under Kamla making money under Keith. So wake up. The same Andrew Gabriel and the wife that make money under Kamla making money under Keith. Wake up. Understand that the lie has been exposed. The PNM and the UNC are two sides of the same corrupt and cancerous coin. Don't be fooled. What you see going on in those parties, the Amy Browns and the Vassan Barretts, they're not fighting for you, fighting for them. Who get in front, eat the most. Half of them don't like each other. Most of them don't talk to each other. You see what you see in COP? And not COP alone. Inside UNC, I call a minister the other day, actually a senator. I say, your colleague is a jackass. The man steal my policy and pass it off as his own. And he's not even in government. He said to talk to he's a jackass. And you're in opposition together. Stuart Young is talking to half the people in Rowley cabinet. Half of them want him fired. And Stuarty boy, the upholder is worse than the thief. You cannot justify the $400 million contract to Calco to build a highway to Manzanilla. You can't justify it. Any day that you stay, every day that you stay in that government, you're as crooked as the rest of them. You are part of the cabal, the clan, and the corruption. You are part of it. It is a team. Co-conspirators after the fact. Before and after the fact. That's the truth. So don't pretend. None of your hands clean. If you're party in crookedness, you in crookedness if you're part of the party. If you have integrity, stand up. Pitch them paper away. This is not what I sign up for. You know what's my name? You know my family. You know my family go through to reach where we are. To come and be a part of this madness. Enough people start to do that. You hear the president say he can't find people to put on the Integrity Commission. People don't want to serve in that shit. You can't do nothing. There are a set of ministers and a set of MPs who are years behind in their filing, and the Integrity Commission sent it to the DPP. And like the gun license that's sitting down on the Commissioner of Police desk, these documents sitting down in the DPP office somewhere. Because no action is being taken on none of these people. But stupid little jackass Riyad Mohammed make a jackass post on Facebook and everybody find him, lock him up for 5 days. You cannot run the country like that. We no longer accept it. We no longer accepting that. And we are coming to the place where we want to call all of the people of Trinidad and Tobago out. Come out. Let us come out now. Let us say enough. This can't continue. Kid Rowley, you cannot steal our money. You cannot steal our $400 million and spend it on a bullshit contract. We reject that. We reject that. You cannot tell us that Rohan Sinnan's corrupt, thieving, Ferrygate fiasco is justifiable because of Kamla's corrupt and thieving Super Galatia. Both of you all need to make a jail. This is not how you run a country. Who less worse? Who thief more? How long will we, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, continue to accept from those in leadership this kind of monkey mechanics passing off as governance? How long? How long before you say enough? What have to happen? Your neighbor get robbed, raped, and murdered. What had happened? You feel if you hold your corner, they may come in by you. You feel the grocery bill that going up every single day. If you stay quiet, yours go below. Even the fact that you have no water in your pipe, if you don't make no noise at all, water will reach by you. Or the traffic that you're in every day will miraculously disappear for you alone because you're not telling the government they're doing shit. What's your role in society? How long do you hold your corner? How long do you stay silent? What has to happen to you and yours before you realize that the strength of the wolf is the pack and the strength of the pack is the wolf? That the electorate is you and 1.3 million other people. And that is the seat of power in this country. And all of those office holders are beholding and answerable to that seat of power. That vote, individually, spent 1.3 million times. And the day this country and the people wake up and understand that their vote, their labor, and their consumption is what holds this country up, we will start to see things turn around. We will. We will. I'll never forget, Amy Brown and I stopped being friends on a Facebook post. When I told him, you are a doctor, Dr. Amy Brown, and you are supposed to be able to say to the people that following the PNF, Black Trinidadians have the highest rates of heart disease in the Western world. Not just Trinidadians, Afro-Trinidadians. Afro-Trinidadians have the highest rates of heart disease in the Western world. And if the PNN cared, and Amory Brown, if you cared, you would have told them, leave the KFC and the Royal Castle and the Burger King alone. Leave it alone. Go and eat Trinidad blue food. Go and eat healthy food. All that grease and fried food, killing black people. And you were supposed to, you're a leader, you're elected to public office, you have a title, you swear to first do no wrong. Why are you not following up with all of those oaths? When I told him that Afro-Trinidadians are most likely to be incarcerated, involved in gangs, have matters before the courts, homeless, or murdered because of the drug trade, his response, and Rhoda Barrett and others like them, said to me, it's not black people bringing in the coke. And I said, I agree. But it's not people of a different color taking the coke out of the boats. Who getting murdered? Who getting high and homeless? Who losing everything? Who ending up in jail? Look there and see and say, leave the people cocaine alone. Suffer, take a jam in, we will fix it. That is what you're supposed to say to people to the people that following you. Diabetes, killing people in this country, killing people in this country. We make and sell more soft drinks per capita than anybody else. The only people that drink more rum and alcohol than us is the Dominican Republic. All those numbers are available. But our farmland growing razor grass and cineplexes, strip malls. Just now, Chaguanas go reach town, one strip mall at a time. Because that's what's going on, you know. As they finish one, the next one build it. And it's spreading north from Chaguanas on food growing land. And are waiting to find out, at what point do we realize that the people to whom we spend our foreign borrowed money for food on, when our money run out or their food run out, what do we eat? The law of the farm predicates that you plan for a future time. The Chinese say the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. We need to be planting food. We need to be planting food. We need to have as a national target food self-sufficiency in 5 years. We need to identify what that means and how do you accomplish that and end this HADCO, AMCO, Massey stranglehold on the nation's food. End it. Let them go back to importing chocolate and ice cream. But the nation's actual food, grow it. So that no country, no China, no Russia, no America, no England, no Dominica and Guyana and Jamaica could bust style on Trinidad. All your food coming from by way. Because a lot of you all eating Julie mango and avocado and cutting it up and putting it in your food and thinking like Trinidad. But go on the CARICOM jetty and see where all our vegetables coming from. We ain't growing it here. And God forbid something happened to the soil. And listen, in a month, the Caribbean was decimated. In a month. Nobody knew. Category 5 after category 5. What happens if natural disasters wipe out the American wheat and corn crop? What happens to Trinidad? 60% of high-low and true value is different ways of selling milk, sugar, wheat, corn in different versions. Cookies, pasta, bread, cereal, all of those aisles is the same things. Milk, sugar, wheat, corn. What happens if they can't supply us? Not one single person in government thinking. The budget on Monday, that should be the first line item. Food self-sufficiency in 5 years. And we dedicate resources to that. So instead of this clown prince of Lekoto, first of the black sabgas, Mason Hall Winer Boy, before he take 400 million scarce dollars and spend it on him on a highway that we do not need, we inject that into beginning a real food production marketing company in this country and start to set farmers up and plot a consumption index and a crop cycle based on that data, so that in quick time we could say by year 3, 30% of our food, by year 4, 60%, by year 5, 75% of all food consumed in Trinidad and Tobago grown here. Why isn't University of the West Indies and University of Trinidad and Tobago and the Trinidad and Tobago Hotel School Institute, why aren't they working to come up with ways to make bread, flour from things other than American wheat and save us all of that foreign exchange? We have a bakery on every corner using American wheat that could easily be using Trinidad cassava. Breadfruit, coconut, those things make flour too. Those things make flour too. And all of these things you need to know. That this is where we're supposed to be as a country. And the conversations we're supposed to be having is not Kamala Panty and Rowley Draws. The conversation we're supposed to be having is how do we get this nation functional, secure, feed our people, educate our children, and provide in case of a health emergency? How do we deal with that? How do we get that to be the national conversation? I will bet anybody that not one of the talking heads assembled after the budget going to address those issues, because they can't. The cocaine drug lords that funding many public officers in this country is what is preventing public officers from admitting to you publicly that securing the borders ends the cocaine drug trade. And if you end the cocaine drug trade, you stop the gun smuggling. And if you stop the gun smuggling, you could make it possible for the existing police officers that we have to collect all the guns that are in the country. And when that's done, crime done. Because you will still have people fighting and stabbing and slapping and cuffing. But a gun kills far more people than a knife could. If a man comes to kill you with a knife, you could outrun him, but you can't outrun a bullet. So Kid Rowley's a jackass. When he said, should I outlaw knives? We should say no. We need to pass a law that outlaws jackasses from holding senior public offices like you. Keith Christopher Mugabe Sabga Rowley. That the one and most important thing that you could do to change this country for the better right now and change our history right now is to resign. Is to admit you've been promoted beyond your competence. That you're floating where you have no idea what to do. That you stand up on the media and you want to cuss me. You want to pick up the phone and cuss me because I educate and I empower the people. So they tell you, take your open pot and open house and haul your ass. Go and tell Sharon and Ravina to open their house and their pot. Trinidadians tell you, miss me with that bullshit. And it pisses you off because he's the Prime Minister and he's the big swinging dick, the blackest man in Trinidad and Tobago, and not a dog supposed to bark. Well, I want to tell you something, brother. Use a raging bull as a matador. They have nothing you're going to say that I am not going to answer. So you take your shutter and shove it. And I want to tell you something. When you get catch lying, that it wasn't Philip Alexander I was talking to the UNC. The UNC say, prove it. We ain't talk about Dominica yet. You get catch lying again, King Liar. You get catch lying again. But I want to tell you something. You and your little Syrian Kabbalists that surrounding you, and the band of bandits and your whole corrupt cancer. I want to tell you all this, that this movement not stopping now. The people are set on fire for change. They have knowledge and information. You can't end this. This is a revolution of hearts and minds. We are going forward in spite of you. TikTok is time. It's but for time. Your mad wild spending, and tell Rohan and Calco, if we find it corrupt at all, we're coming back for the 400 million. Tell Kalu we go in Miami, we going down in Shorelands, take back apartments and sell them. Go and tell Vasant Barad we want to investigate what's going on down in Shorelands and Goodwood Park. How we pay for them two houses at the same time. We need to deal with all of this because let me tell you something. And when people tell you, he had a walk before. Yes, you had a walk before. But you wasn't making hundreds of millions of dollars. Nobody in this country making that kind of money. And I'm telling you that. Not legally, lawfully, morally, and ethically. We excuse too much foolishness. And those days have to done. Have to done. They have to done. And not one of those mocking pretenders have real power. Not one. You could fire Keith Rowley tomorrow and he have no power. He ain't getting a wine on Ravina again because he ain't under there. They have no power. The power they masquerade and pretend and pose on comes from you. You own the office. You own the authority. It is because of you they have a post and a position. And you have the ability to tell them, you have wasted the opportunity. You have squandered what I have sent you to do. You have wasted my time and made a mockery of my country. You have put my family in danger. You have ended any hope of me for the next 5 years having an opportunity to maximize my full potential. You're wasting valuable days, hours, minutes of my life by your existence, grotesque existence, and that we need to fire you. Do us a favor, Keith Rowley. Resign. Walk away. Take your whole incompetent band of clowns with you. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we deserve a lot better.
Your vote will decide our destiny. Your vote will decide what you want to be. Your vote can protect our country's fate. One use it well before it's too late. If it is that who you're voting, well, you're not out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the proven to be your thing, pull them out. When you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the time is now that change should come about, just as how you vote them in, vote them out. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, vote them out. Stick your finger and vote them out. Show them no mercy, vote them out. Vote them out with total skull and utter mistake. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out of power, dominate your reign. Let's put our country together again.
Power is, was, and always will be yours. To determine what happens in the budget on Monday, the power is yours. Not the mocking pretenders on Heyman Fazil show. Ignore that bullshit. That's stunts and theater. We're here for the popcorn. We want a real budget. And you must tell them, give me a budget that addresses the issues that matter to me on a national level, or miss me with that bullshit.
If for 30 years you voting them in, and there's only tears as soon as they win, they give you big words and enslave your souls.
Promising you roads, $400 million potholes.
If they are the reason why the economy goes sprout,
When you're voting,
vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passing laws that
them alone could go Kabuto and train the children with high-powered rep weapons.
if it is the building I
Taruba, Hoover Hospital, Napa, Sapa, Tapa, waste of time.
register and vote them out. Totally
Vote them out,
take your finger and vote.
fire them,
Rescue the country.
end the stunting and the circus.
With tempo, they have me in pain. Let's put our country together again. Pull them out with calypso and joyous refrain. Let's put our country together again. Ask
the media why they afraid Philip Alexander. Ask the media why they're not covering the Progressive Empowerment Party. Ask them. Go on all their walls. Go on all their threads. As they tell you, look this, look that. Say, why are you not covering the Progressive Empowerment Party? The only political organization affecting the national conversation. Go on their walls and tell them that tonight.
If their policy is a policy, bureaucracy, a catastrophe.
Shada, you spell roti wrong. Then your only hope is for them to go.
If it is
Fabrication. Every time you catch the man lying, he say that is not what I meant. Fabricator in chief.
If it is a frustration, let's make you want to shout.
Everybody in the country is sick, tired, frustrated. Depression and suicide on the rise. All of them misusing their office, padding their pockets, thieving their money, and getting ready to run. Get ready to run. That's what they're doing.
All of them, stick your finger and them on the system. Put them out in Scarborough and in Port of Spain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out in Congo and in
Vote them out of power. Terminate their reign. Let's put our country together again. This Saturday at noon, be on time, come early. This Saturday at noon, we have a tight public meeting. Come and join us this Saturday at noon. Wherever you're coming from, leave home early. If you're bringing things to share, bring for everybody. You don't have to bring nothing to share. If you don't have, just come and share your time and your advice. And among the family, the PEP family, we are meeting this Saturday, 19 Stanmore Avenue at noon. Come early. Be there because it's tight. We have 5 meetings on Saturday. And the one for the public is from 12 to 1:30. So please, be early, be on time. And hear this, peptrinbago@gmail.com is your email address. Use that email address right now and send a message to the party. Say, this is my name, phone number, and my email address, and I am from this constituency, and I would like to serve either at the constituency level or the national level, or I just want to join. Sign me up. PEP, APP, PEP app, available on all the app stores, free of charge. Download it so you get notification. Maya and Cindy, they have that running. All the people from all the gyms who keep messaging that they want podcasts so that they could train while listening, no problem at all. Maya and Cindy working on that. The website team have launched peptt.com. It exists. Use it. Keep updated by what's going on, where the party is and where we're going. We are having a public meeting in Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West in a couple of weeks to launch the first satellite constituency office. And that's a big thing. And we're going to be inviting the national public to come and join. Because we're doing Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, then we go in Princestown, and then across the pond, and we're in Tobago. We're going to open an office in Tobago. We're coming to give the people of Tobago a voice. Listen, Trinidad and Tobago, this is easy stuff. I don't have to know how to fly a plane. They have pilots for that. I don't have to know how to operate on people. They have surgeons for that. But I know how to fix the country. You must be able to tell by now the problems that have been plaguing the country. The PEP has answers for them. And you're supposed to take these answers and go on all of the places and the opportunities you get to share it and say, listen, there's a better way. We don't have to stay like this. Embarrass the media for the media blackout of the PEP. Expose them and call them out. They are not journalists. They hired hacks and guns for hire. We are at a place now in Trinidad and Tobago. We either get busy fixing this or get accustomed with the madness because it's only going to get worse. Trinidad and Tobago, this is your rally call. Get on board. The Orange Army, an Orange Revolution, change. Change that we need, change that we could use, change that will make it possible for your children to play in safety and for you to grow old happy. We are doing this now. Come on board with your numbers. Own this party. Saturday at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.